Afghanistan and pleaded guilty to providing support to ISIS. That's Fox's Kevin Uretsky. Back to our top Fox News story. The better-than-expected hiring for September. 110,000 jobs will be done at the FD4. On Wall Street, we're seeing stock futures surging at the quarter points for the Dow ahead of the opening bell. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News. This is Viewpoint, a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of AM 1490 WHPP. We welcome your input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of AM 1490 WHPP. And now, here's today's Viewpoint. And good morning and welcome into the Thursday morning Viewpoint. For this Thursday morning, November 20th, 2025, I'm your host, Randy Williams. How do you feel this morning? Certainly hope your morning is going well. And again, we are still under that fog advisory, dense fog advisory until 9, and it was pretty thick this morning. And this can be dangerous weather for, especially when it comes to deer, that may come out of nowhere. And I did mention earlier, it may sound funny, but honestly, I've seen people on any number of occasions, when the weather conditions are bad, it seems like that would be the time you really would be more careful. But many pedestrians and drivers, we got some reckless drivers. They may not want to hear it, but we've got some reckless drivers. It's not the majority. It's only a handful of reckless drivers. They wait until it's raining or the visibility is poor, and they drive right up on my bumper at night. When we already have poorly lit streets and poorly striped highways, and so your reckless drivers become more reckless, in my opinion, when the driving conditions get worse. But thank goodness I am an experienced driver. Although I say I'm a world traveler, but I got lost going to Menor. so much for me being a world traveler, huh? But even the best of us as defensive drivers, we have a tough time dealing with recklessness. Pedestrians, I don't know. I've seen people walk in the middle of the street, literally, and they're 2 feet away from a sidewalk. Now, they spend all these thousands of dollars to put sidewalks, up and down Broad Street and some other areas, Marie Foster and other places, First Avenue. Some really nice sidewalk work has gone on in each ward, just about. And there's a lot that has to be done. Use them. Why would you walk in the street, in the middle of the street, and that's what the sidewalk is for, so that you don't create a problem for drivers. So you have pedestrians that do that. Now, I can only guess that maybe there's a mental issue, and if it is, I don't know what the law says about how you handle it. I would imagine law enforcement has to be careful even with how they handle that, because so many of these situations we hear about these days, where a citizen gets hurt, or in some cases shot, in some cases ended up ultimately in death with an officer-involved incident. But it's many times can start with something as simple as, telling the person, well, ma'am or sir, I would imagine, you don't need to be walking in the middle of the street. And then it escalates from there. So, you can't win, The only best thing to do is to try and help people like that and say, try and find a way to get them to be safe. I'm more concerned about their safety, right? And then the other thing I see pedestrians do, if you're walking at night or early morning, and I see it all the time, people running across the road and across not that there's a traffic light a couple feet away, right? it'd be safer to cross at the traffic light because at least you got the light on your side. But I see them, running across the street, and you can't see them because they're not wearing anything that illuminates them. They're wearing dark clothes at night or early morning. And even during the day, sometime if a person comes out of nowhere, they could get hit. And I've heard that, as a matter of fact, I understand somebody did get one on the bicycle, got hit not long ago but they had a regular habit of dodging in and out of the traffic like I'm not, I'm invincible. You're not going to hit me, So I'm not going to obey the traffic lights. I'm not going to obey the traffic laws. I'm not going to be safe. And then they got hit. So, you know what I mean? It's not fun. It's not, it's crazy, but a lot of stuff happens to us we can prevent. And the bicycles. Why in the world are you going to ride your bicycle in the middle of the street or dodge in and out of traffic in Selma with some of these reckless drivers? The most reckless drivers usually don't have license plate tags, so they probably don't have insurance, so you're just messed up if you get hit. I'm just gonna have to tell it like it is. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that we do that happen to us we can control, and somebody has to say it. I don't know if it's being said or not, or if it's just common sense has left us. I'm not sure. But if you walk or ride your bike on a regular basis, and I'm a bicyclist. I ride my bike from time to time, and I have a scooter. Not quite a motorcycle. It's not a big motor. It's a scooter. It's a motorcycle, a smaller motorcycle. I have a scooter and a bike. I keep a bicycle. But I'm not going to do anything that will endanger drivers or the general public. And again, I think it's just basic common sense. So, if you're going to ride your bike, have something on where people can see, that you're riding a bike, and you're not a car. You don't have any protection. It's no sense in riding your bike in the middle of the road. They're coming up with these bicycle lanes, and I think it's going to take us time to learn how to use those. They have to be properly marked and all of that. But this is just something that I guess you could say the Lord has laid on my heart this morning, especially with the dense fog. I see a lot of people do a lot of reckless things, riding all the way up on the person's bumper. And that's all willing. What if a dog runs out in front of a car and you're riding right up on their bumper and they have to make a sudden stop? Boom! But guess who's going to be in trouble? You, the one that's riding on their bumper, not the car that hit a dog or almost hit a dog or an animal or a deer. You don't even have enough space for them to put their brake on for you not to run into the back of their vehicle. And depending on at what speed, and sometimes the speed doesn't matter, will determine the amount of damage or the loss of life or limb that could happen. I don't know what people think about these things or not, but sometimes maybe it's good to get a reminder that we're not invincible. And many times, the very people who are reckless are the first ones to go. And sometimes they're not. It's almost like, some drunk drivers that cause accidents. Everybody get hurt but the one that's drunk because they're so relaxed, I think is what it is. That state of drunkenness has their body so relaxed until it doesn't have time to get hurt. if that makes any sense. But anyway, safety first, folks. That is my big motto. I'm going to take this break, and then I want to get into some of this information that we need to know. I'll tell you about in just a few minutes. 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. We're all live. Our live stream video on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, selmapostherald.com. And if you would like to know how to get to it, then all you have to do is go to selmapostherald.com. And I've got a couple of things ahead of the live stream link. Presently, the first story under our logo, slogan rather, history in the making, is the press release from Adeka about home repairs. If you still need help repairing your home from the January 12th, 2023 tornado. And then under that is the Veterans Day program that happened a couple of weeks ago on this past Veterans Day. Under that, the swearing in of the new mayor and city council. And then under that, the sports link. If you want to see what Bruce Ambassador Holmes has posted on the website with the sports page. And then under that, the link to Viewpoint on our YouTube, on the selmapostherald.com YouTube channel. All you have to do is click the link and it will bring you straight to that. Let's take this break. I'll be back with more after these messages.
In today's store, repairing your vehicle to showroom condition demands cutting-edge technology. That's what you get at the all-new George's Paint and Body Shop in Selma. After tornado damage total reconstruction, George's has the latest advanced technology, especially designed for today's multi-tag vehicles. The Bosch calibration system restores safety features like lane departure and collision sensors. The two new Chief Frame machines and computer laser measuring system delivers pinpoint accuracy down to the millimeter. And the two new downdraft paint booth units provide perfect quality refinishing. And with the reconstruction comes a much larger facility designed for an increased capacity and quicker turnaround time. George's deals directly with your insurance company, but they work for you. Call to schedule your estimate and repairs today. See the pros, Eric and Scooter Hagen at George's Paint and Body Shop, 1215 J. L. Chestnut Junior Boulevard. Call 338-772-1441. The all-new George's Paint and Body Shop has reopened in Selma. By George. Did you know that Alabama has the highest rate of cardiovascular disease events, including death, hospitalizations, and emergency department visits among all 50 states? According to America's Health Rankings, over 12% of adults in Alabama have been diagnosed with the disease. That's well above the national average. That's why we're spreading the word about Alabama vascular specialists here on the radio. Also, why AVS is growing to better serve the patients in this area.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it every time.
And now AVS proudly welcomes Dr. Richard Tan, who has just arrived from New York. If you or someone you love suffers from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or obesity, they could be on the way to very serious problems with their vascular system if not treated. Talk to your medical provider about AVS, Alabama Vascular Specialists, with offices in Montgomery and Selma, 334-801-9952, online at alabamavascularspecialist.com.
Sir.
The Tigers are back at Jordan-Hare Stadium against the Mercer Bears. Live coverage begins with the Tigers. Only on the Auburn Network.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Thursday morning, November 20th, 2025. Now on the YouTube live stream, I have switched to sharing the screen. I've switched to the selmapostherald.com homepage. You see where it says home, 20th anniversary. 2005 is when selmapostherald.com started. 2002 is when Selma Post Herald started. And so 3 years later, the website started and has been going ever since. And you see the picture of that's a picture of when the Battle of Selma was being held. And this is one of the photographs I had taken. I like it because it's, unless you haven't really got it, you realize that it's a Confederate reenactor. They have Confederate uniforms, but you know that in the 1800s, certainly between 1860 and 1865, you wouldn't see a sign that says speed limit 25. So you know it's current, right? Plus, there's a one or two tourists in the background with cameras. So you know that this is not the actual 1800s. And the gentleman's face is blurred. I intentionally blurred the faces so that you don't see who anybody is. And then next to that is the a picture of Bloody Sunday being commemorated on the Evan Pettus Bridge. This is a unique angle because there was a company here, a filming company that was filming a movie. It was about the ocean. I've forgotten the name of the movie now, but I became friendly with some of the photographers and videographers, and they had built a set uh, pretty high up on the bridge at the bridge's apex. And as I was going by, the crew asked me if I wanted to take a picture uh, on their set, and I said, "Yeah," because I couldn't do it safely. I couldn't get a shot like this safely, but they had everything anchored down, and still, people don't realize how dangerous photojournalism can be and photography can be sometime, and that is a perfect example. I still have to be careful. And this one is a picture of a crowd shot as people were coming across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. You see a number of pictures being held on posters. Well, those are the martyrs of Alabama. If you ever wondered who are these other faces that you see Jimmy Lee Jackson, I think, is in there somewhere. And I believe there's also a picture, though, of Emmett Till and Barlow, people who died during the voting rights movement. That's who those pictures are that they're holding up. And then I've also blurred the photograph so that you can't necessarily make out any individual person. And under that, history in the making. That's the Selma Post Herald slogan in selmapostherald.com. Under that, the first story is the ADECA news release. ADECA launches program to help homeowners in Dallas, Autauga counties with damage from 2023 tornadoes. I try to give you information that you can use, something that you need. You know what I mean? This for example, what in the world, how are we going to benefit from Epstein in the cases that he's dead? He's been dead for a couple of years now. They're protecting the identities of the victims. We don't know the details about that. Why in the world are we focused? They voted unanimously, almost unanimously in the House and in the Senate, to go ahead with forcing the Justice Department to release the Epstein files, but they couldn't agree on helping people eat. That tells me about priorities politically. So anyway, I even hate to spend time on something as useless. how what is it going to how is whatever they're trying to find out about this Epstein, how is that going to help us improve the quality of life in Selma, Alabama? When we still trying to figure out how to deal with some of these potholes. I'm hoping my car can survive some of the streets. You hit one pothole enough to wreck your car. But anyway, so I'm more concerned about potholes than I am Epstein. But anyway, getting back to the point, um, I have added to their press release their link at the beginning where it says for immediate release. All of this is online also, and you can see it right now on YouTube. You'll see that the link is in blue. It's homerecoveryal.com. Now, I had tried to enter that myself. Um, just typed it in and was unsuccessful in being able to get to the website. And I concluded that if I was going to have problems, and I'm digitally literate, I'm a coder, I can code now, and a publisher. And so if I can't get it, the average person, I know they're going to have trouble. So I said, well, the best thing to do is just to go ahead and provide the link. All you have to do is click it, and it will take you directly to the website. And let me see. I might as well, while I'm doing it, I like to go through it if some of us are going through it as I'm going through it. I'm going to click it and tell you what I see. Oh, no, I don't have to tell you what I see. It's going to come up. All right, so I click the website, and what happens? Let's see here. Oh, there's a logo, HRAP, Home Recovery Alabama program, right? And you see it's got on the navigation bar at the top has home. Do I qualify? Apply for tornado relief resources and contact. And so and scroll down a little bit. Helping Alabama homes. It says the HRAP application period Valley and Zeta recovery is now closed, but HRAP tornado recovery for Dallas and Ottoga counties begins taking applications on November 17th. And that was Monday. And it gives you all the details, and all you do is click on how to apply. And so, what I'll do for the benefit of those who may not have access to the internet or may not be comfortable with surfing the web, I'm going to read the news release that the director of ADECA, Kenneth W. Boswell, released. But I'll take this break first, and when I come back, we'll get into the details of the news release for the homeowners program for homeowners in Dallas and Ottoga counties with damage from the 2023 tornadoes.
Don't know what to do or where to go? Whether you need urgent care, primary care, or even family care, Primary Health Solutions is there for you at 913 Medical Center Parkway, right down from the Vaughn Regional Hospital. You don't need an appointment, just walk in or call 234-418-6700. Dr. Tyler Goins and nurse practitioners at Wood and Megan Crane will get you in, evaluate your symptoms, and provide the right treatment to get you well soon. Primary Health Solutions, Medical Center Parkway, Selma.
Before you go into the woods, you got to be dressed right. The co-op store. Thomas Reed?
Yes, sir, George. Come on down to the co-op and check out our vast selection of apparel. We got hunting apparel in all shapes and sizes for men, women, and children. We're carrying Rocky this year. We got bibs, jackets, shirts, pants, toboggans, gloves, everything you need to keep warm, no matter if you're going into the woods, if you're going out to do some work. Come check us out.
And everybody's welcome at the co-op store.
14 WAB. Okay. The this is on the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs for immediate release dated Monday, November 17th, 2025. And it reads, ADECA launches program to help homeowners in Dallas, Ottoga counties with damage from homeowners in Ottoga counties whose houses were damaged by the tornadoes that struck the area in January 2023 can now apply for grant money to help with remaining damage. Come back here. Yep. The Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs is administering the Home Recovery Alabama Program dash Tornado Recovery, in parentheses HRAP dash TR in capital letters, parentheses, comma, which assists property owners by providing funds to repair, reconstruct, or replace single-family homes that suffered damage from the tornadoes. The program is funded by Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funds, made available to Alabama by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Low to moderate income homeowners and landlords in rental homes in Dallas and Autauga counties, including the city of Selma, designated as most impacted by the tornadoes, may apply at homerecoveryal.com starting today. Homeowners and landlords must have owned the property when the tornadoes hit in January 2023 and must still own the home. Quotation marked, the tornadoes that struck the city of Selma, Dallas County, and Autauga County in January 2023 will long be remembered for the devastation they wrought, and many homeowners and landlords still have unrepaired damage to their homes, unquote. DECA Director Kenneth Boswell said, quote, while the funding is limited, our goal with this program is to help as many homeowners make repairs as funds allow, unquote. For more information about qualifications and necessary documents needed to apply, visit homerecoveryal.com or call 251-265-7958. Potential applicants can also visit an official intake center located at 124 Broad Street in Selma. The intake center is open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. In late 2023, HUD, HUD, and Congress allocated funds to assist in long-term unmet tornado recovery needs. A total of $3.3 million is available for Home Recovery Alabama program - tornado recovery. If an application is approved, the funding is a grant, not a loan, and does not have to be repaid as long as applicants comply with the terms of the grant and the program rules. Funds are provided to repair storm damage. Reimbursement for repairs already completed is not eligible. And this again is from the ADECA director, Mr. Kenneth Boswell. And if necessary, at some point, I may, go into the website and talk about some of the qualifications. It's where a lot of people kind of get stuck in terms of the paperwork that needs to be done and the documentation that you need to provide. And so if it becomes necessary, but I wanted to share that with you because I know that there's still a lot of people that haven't been served, and there's still a lot of damage that still exists. And so this is good. This is good. I'd rather tell you about this than about Epstein. Because after we talk about Epstein, what's going to happen? Epstein is dead. That's the first thing. And who knows, the corruption probably still goes and stinks as high as heaven. And we'll never find out the truth. But that's another story. Let's take this break, and I'll be back with more after these messages. I guess you guys said, boy, he really is not, he really don't trust these guys, huh?
Hughes Body Shop, 334-875-4470. Located 7 miles out Summerfield Road. Your deer damage vehicle repair specialist. Hughes Body Shop.
Hello, everybody. G-Man here. Did you know that Alabama is located what is known as the stroke belt? Right here in our listening area, 43.4% prevalence of adults who repeatedly suffered from high blood pressure. Other risk factors include high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, and smoking, which can all lead to serious health problems and even death. I was one of those who used to pay very little attention until I had another heart attack and had a really hard time walking due to blockage in my circulatory system. I thank the good Lord every day that my physician referred me to AVS, Alabama Vascular Specialist, for Dr. Ralph Red, Dr. Erwin White Giddens, and Dr. Richard Tan. Lead a team of professionals that truly care about their patients and get to the root of their patients' vascular problems. Then provide the care needed to get them on the road to recovery. If it weren't for AVS, I don't know if I would be here talking to you today. 334-801-9952. Check them online at alabamavascularspecialist.com.
Banking the way it should be at First Cahaba Bank means you never have to worry about the season or the weather with online banking. It's always there and always on, 24/7, 365, even on holidays.
I'm Richard Walters, president of First Cahaba Bank, here to let you know that all of our online banking resources have been invaluable to our First Cahaba customers. Although our lobbies are open, personal and business customers have discovered how convenient and easy it has become to manage financial resources without having to come inside the bank. And all of our online services, including mobile banking app, are free. Visit firstcahaba.com to get all of the information, or feel free to call any of our locations in Selma, Troy, or Gulf Shores for any questions or information. Banking the way it should be at First Cahaba Bank means we are constantly focused on the very latest technology for customer convenience and overall satisfaction. We would love for you to join our growing community bank family. First Cahaba Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Is your business protected against cyber attacks, viruses, malware, or ransomware? How much would it cost for your business to be shut down for a couple of days if one of these attacks were to happen and you lost all of your customer and billing data? One of the worst cyber attacks right now is ransomware, which literally holds all of your files for a large ransom. And these attackers are wanting big money to unlock your files, from $5,000 to $10,000 and much more. These ransoms also have to be paid by Bitcoin, which is cryptocurrency, a very difficult task in and of itself. If you're not prepared, you could be looking at several days of lost time and wages, along with frustration for yourself, your employees, and your customers. With the right plan in place, the risk of your business experiencing such an attack can be greatly minimized by protecting your network, computers, and servers, along with a comprehensive backup plan. Computer and Data Network Services has the tools and the experience to custom tailor a solution that best fits your needs. Call us today for an appointment to talk what we do for you. 334-874-8324. That's 334-874-8324.
1490 WHB. Good morning on this Thursday morning, November 20th. Thanksgiving right around the corner next week, of course, next Thursday. And this weekend is probably going to be the beginning of the Thanksgiving travel season. It's a good idea to make sure you've got all your, speaking of paperwork, in order when you hit the road. You'll be going somewhere by car. Maybe you got your insurance papers and your driver's license and a tag. I shouldn't have to say anything obvious, but now I'm guilty of forgetting things myself. Sometimes I have to do a checklist to make sure, because there's nothing worse to go on a vacation or some sort of a outing and have it that could have brake lights not working. Yeah, or no better than that. How about your license plate tag? I got pulled over for my light plate, the light on my license plate tag being out. And as I was being pulled over, I noticed that in front of me was a car that had no tag. Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff that can happen. So the best way to do it is just check everything out before you leave to go on the trip, and make sure all your lights work and you got all your paperwork, so that if you get pulled over, it's nothing to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Officer, thank you, and have a good day." Right? Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wasn't going to call in, but you just keep saying it. Epstein dead, so when you read about this and that book, where the victims ain't dead, and a lot of people that victimize those girls ain't dead. You be saying, what does it matter? I think the women need closures. Don't you agree?
Of course they do, but how am I going to help facilitate that?
You don't have to. That's what they're doing up there now. They're living out in the open.
So you mean to tell me you're comfortable with a unanimous vote? I think in the House there was only one person that voted against it. A unanimous vote to force the Justice Department to release these files, and it took them 2 months to agree to pay people to get food.
Basically, Randy, what you're talking about is President Trump, because he could have released those files when he first.
He did in October. I don't know why people forget that October, the same condition existed, but they said they were running out of money for November. What are you talking about? Why didn't the Democrats release the Epstein files 4 years prior to the last 4 years?
Because Delane Maxwell.
Because. Excuse.
And you can't release anything under that. And Democrats didn't run on releasing those files and all that stuff like Bennett and Trump said. As soon as you got in office, you 180. And the thing about it is, I want to talk about something that you said, how everything gonna make everything better about this, that, and all that. Now, Trump just, but the other day, admitted that tariffs was causing prices to go up in life.
The what?
Trump admitted that tariffs.
Oh, tariffs. Okay, not terrorists, but tariffs. Okay.
Tariffs, yeah, was causing prices to go up. Right?
I believe he said that he realizes that it was a factor, but I also think I remember him warning that there was going to be some temporary uncomforts in order to get it to where it needs to be. This is on specific items. The thing, look, like I said, the price of eggs is half of what it was a year ago. Gas is still right at $3 and under $3 locally. Coffee, and I'm a coffee drinker, I'm paying more for coffee. And there's a few other items that are as a result of the tariffs.
Trump said this, and make sure you agree with it. Trump said other countries will be paying the tariffs. American people don't pay that. Other countries pay it. And everybody was telling him at the time, no, and going to the consumers. But no, he don't listen. Now he's going to sit up there with some slap in the face. Now he's going to realize what's going on after he didn't wreck this.
Well, for the record, I think President Trump is doing an excellent job. And I think we're headed to unprecedented success in progress and prosperity. I don't hate President Trump. I don't have a problem with him. Do you? I tell him, go right ahead, brother. Do your thing and hope the Lord protects him.
Give me some examples right now on how he's doing an excellent job.
Look, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. You're just going to have to. I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm not even hardly. This is not about me. This program is called Viewpoint. Your viewpoint. I'm not. But again, for the record, I don't give a flip about Mr. Epstein. I feel sorry for the victims we're not supposed to know who they are. Hope they get some closure, but it should be worked out in the court system, not on the radio.
People like y'all just kept getting you wrong and go ahead on and try to go ahead on to make your mistakes. This is why this country is messed up like it is. You was wrong about this and that and all of it. I asked you what he's doing actually, and you can't give me that.
But it's too many things. So I could go on, and it wouldn't matter. Everything that I mentioned, you're not going to agree with anyway. What difference does it make? Well, I think he did help negotiate a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza, since you were so concerned about the Palestinians. I see what I mean. It doesn't make a difference what I say. I could go on and on. Look, I got to get ready to take a break. Let me let you make your last comment.
Like I said, man, you talk to people like y'all. You understand that? Me, myself, I can leave them alone. I can go back to the person and tell them I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I made a mistake. But you're people like y'all, You have to be right all the time. You don't even go back and admit that you was wrong about the tariffs and everything else. I mean, how are we supposed to live among each other when you can't admit as a man that was wrong about some things?
Well, if I thought what you were saying was true and accurate, I'd agree with you. But I have too many instances where I have corrected myself, and when I've been corrected, will admit to it. But I happen to think that what you're talking about right now, I think you're dead wrong. And the main thing is, I know your agenda is you're trying to figure out every kind of possible way you can discredit President Trump. What are you going to do when he gets out of office? You're going to be messed up. You won't know what to do. I gotta go. Thank you for calling. Let me take this break. I'm about to fall off the wagon. Let me take this break.
We're with Barry Parker and our friends at Reliable Chevrolet and GMC. 80 years, Barry.
That's right, George. We've been right here at the same location at 14th Lawrence Street. Also the same family, the Porter family. Bill is here, has his two sons, John and Will, and soon they'll be taking over. So it'll be a third generation that has had the ownership of Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
Now let's talk about what's going on with Chevrolet and GMC. We're coming up on the end of the year. Big time discounts on these 25s that you got left.
That's right, George. We're moving them out right and left. If you're in the market for a 2025 model, let me encourage you to come down. Get them while they're still available, because the 26s are here and we've got more coming. So we got to make room. Whatever your transportation needs are, we can take care of them right here. And let us get you fixed up so you can be riding today.
Not forget about the pre-owned side and service.
That's right. We've got all kind of makes and models on the pre-owned inventory, from cars to trucks to SUV. And when it comes to getting the vehicle service, we have the top service department in Central Alabama, right here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
And is that fifth oil change still free?
Always free. Not just your first fifth, every fifth oil change. Regardless of how many vehicles you have in the family, each one stands on its own.
To get in touch with Reliable Chevrolet and GMC, what do we do?
872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com, or best, just come visit us right here at 14th Lawrence Street in downtown Selma.
At Reliable, where they truly have it all. If you're considering renovating your home, doing a restoration, or new home construction, call Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, 334-412-1939. He's not a handyman. He's a master craftsman who does the job right the first time, with minimal disturbance keeping your home clean. Here's one of Steve's customers.
This is Sandra at Cornerstone. He just does wonderful work. Everyone that I have sent to him has been very pleased. I do not recommend people normally, because I'm always scared they won't produce what they say. But I have no worries recommending him.
Choose the right contractor from the start when it comes to a renovation, restoration, or home building project. Contact Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, specializing in all phases of home repair, paint, and remodeling. 334-412-1939 for Renovation Plus.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Thursday morning. I think the American public is far too gullible and far too easily manipulated when it comes to sex scandals. Just to give you an example, one of the biggest political issues was about abortion, sex. Now we're dealing with Epstein, the alleged underage girls that he was helping arrange, and then another woman helping arrange with prominent politicians and business people, sex. Now we'll dive deep into that, but when it comes down to trying to figure out how to fix the criminal justice system and how do you prevent a convicted murderer from hitting the street, or an illegal alien from murdering somebody, we can't sit down at a round table and figure out solutions to that, or how to feed people who need help temporarily. I'm more concerned about that than I am the smoke and mirrors, the dirty tricks department. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, man.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you? I'm doing all right. Not too bad. Trying to stay on the wagon. Trying not to go down those rabbit holes.
Rabbit hole, yeah. I heard about him. He's still hung up on Trump. He forgot about what Clinton did, what Bush did, what Obama did, my arrested him crooks. And I call them all crooks by head and smile about it. Because all they were, a bunch of them don't cook. They say they're against it, but yet they're right in the middle of it. They got their hand in the cookie jar. They said they had nobody's above the law, and when the tables get turned on them, they go raising hell. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know all about them.
Well, you know what gets me, and I think you're old enough to remember. I remember Watergate.
Citizen is caught by taking a hand in the cookie jar. He goes to jail. He gets prosecuted. He gets ridiculed. But when a politician by gets his hands in the cookie jar, oh, it's a cover-up. It's politics. It didn't happen. I wonder how long it's going to take by head for these people by head to get their head out of the butt and start looking at stuff. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
No, that's too much like fairness. What you said is too much like being fair. We're not interested in being fair. I want to be treated special, and I don't want to be treated fairly. The rules don't apply to me.
You might think that, but the man upstairs ain't gonna see it that that ain't gonna turn by head out here when he sends you straight to hell. But there's no turning back. There's no turnaround. It's a one-way shot.
Well, everybody, we're all gonna have to face our Maker, our Creator. But those of us who believe, some of us don't even believe there's a God, and until we get in trouble, the first thing we holler is, "Oh, Jesus!" It's too late then, yeah. Well, what can I tell you? As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. But no, I hear you. I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up and to see and to read in between the lines. And all of these are distractions from the real issues. They don't. If they put as much time into and energy into solving some of the problems we have, maybe we'd solve some of them. I don't know. I tell you, it's getting pretty obvious.
We have got hypocrites from Texas, from here to Seattle. You go in there and spend time in church and all this other stuff. And then when you get out, you go against the grain.
Some of us don't wait till we get out. Some of us have started while we're in the church, before the service is over.
They probably right there in the amen to you.
Well, what can I say? It's crazy. It is really crazy. Well, I got to get ready to take a break. Let you make your closing remarks as we start winding up.
Keep me in the church. I said, but what? I said, if I want to lift a bunch of dang old land out there, all I got to do is go downtown. I hear all of what I need. I don't need to go to church. And hey, why go to church back here and listen to somebody that's supposed to be out here preaching the gospel out of the Bible? He up everybody had to tell a bunch of dang on crap out here instead of get paid for it. No. the men I had out here, those preachers I heck like politicians. They're coming up in the mouth, they're lying to you about something.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for calling. And I hope that the ministers and evangelists and other outreach workers in the church that listened and heard what he said. You see, and Christians who are members of churches, you see, people are watching what we do, and so you're not going to, no, I think the statement I've heard that I like best is I'd rather see a sermon than hear one. Let's take this break. I'll be back with more right after this.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Thursday. One Montgomery teen is behind bars this morning after shooting and killing another teen back in June. 13-year-old Diamond Moore was killed while she was sleeping in her home on Greensboro Court. Because of the age, police have not released the name of the suspect in this case, only saying that he's a male teen who now faces capital murder charges. Governor Kay Ivey has fired all members of the Motorsports Hall of Fame Commission after an audit uncovered missing money in cars. An audit found that a former employee stole more than $200,000 for personal expenses. That audit also found that the Hall of Fame didn't have proper oversight in place to prevent that theft. All flags are still flying half-staff today in honor of Vice President Dick Cheney. His funeral will be held later on this morning. He passed away earlier this month. He will be laid to rest at 10 a.m. Central Time at the Washington National Cathedral. Several former presidents and vice presidents will be there.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Thursday morning. Tonight in Montgomery, Crampton Bowl, the Alabama Independent School Association Championships start at 12 noon. I said tonight. They'll be playing tonight too, but 12 noon is the first game. Class 1A has Macon East versus Escambia Academy. Double A Class 2A starts at 3:30 and will feature South Choctaw Academy at Abbeville Christian. Lowndes Academy versus Chambers Academy at 7. That is the big deal. The Class AAA championship for the Alabama Independent School Association. These are the top teams, championship teams for 2025. Tomorrow is another big day for the Southside Panthers. I say go Panthers. I hear that it's getting tougher as they, quite naturally, because, there's a lot of undefeated teams and teams with good records. And so this is not to be taken lightly. This is a very competitive playoff. And so we're going into the third round tomorrow with the Alabama High School Athletic Association playoffs. We have several teams in our area that are participating. South side of Selma will be hosting Glenwood, and that's in Class 3A. And Bayside will be hosting Montgomery Academy. I kind of Montgomery is in our area too. We're not officially a part of the River Region. And I watch what happens in Autauga County too, because I've had people on many occasions over the years say to me that they're either related to or know people that play at some of the other schools in Autauga County, not just Prattville, but some of the other schools. But anyway, so Montgomery Academy will be at Bayside in Class 3A. Now in Class 1A, of course, Maplesville. We're kind of all used to Maplesville being winners. They have a winning tradition. And so, but I don't think they did as well last year as I best can remember. But Maplesville is back, and so they'll be hosting Southern Choctaw for our listeners in that area. We want you to go out and root Maplesville on to victory. McKenzie will be hosting Leroy. This is Class 1A. In Class 2A, Laverne will be hosting Lynette. In Class 4A, Jackson will be hosting W.S. Neal. In Class 5A, Montgomery Catholic hosting Williamson. Class 6A, Benjamin Russell hosting Hueytown. Pike Road, I tell you, Pike Road, they've been pretty pretty consistent the last couple of years. They're fairly new. Pike Road will be hosting Saraland. Saraland is not anything to play with either. And boy, Thompson in Class 7A, Thompson at Central Phoenix City, that ought to be a game. And Opelika and Auburn. That's tomorrow's rundown. Thank you for listening. I certainly thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, the good Lord willing. Stay tuned for Fox News coming up next on WHBB Selma. And they are up next. It's 9 o'clock.
It took a while. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We finally got the September jobs report this morning. Delayed